Hi, we're Brian and Anne Bercht, and we'd like to welcome you to this Healing from Affairs program. We know firsthand the devastation that a betrayal can cause, and we know definitely how difficult it is to recover from. For the past 15 years, we've been helping couples just like you fully recover, and all what they need to do is just commit to the tools that we're going to share with you throughout this program.
There's a saying that time heals all wounds. We want you to know that that is not true. In our work, we've run into couples where an affair has taken place in a marriage as long as 30 years ago. And when we begin to talk to the couple about their situation, the betrayed spouse is crying as if it happened yesterday, and the unfaithful spouse is staring at their shoes in shame. And Brian and I just look at each other and go, clearly, there is no healing that has taken place for this couple yet. It's time plus doing the right things that will heal your relationship. And as you go through this program, we are step by step going to show you what the right things are. But I really want to encourage you, we have a saying in this work that slow is fast when it comes to healing. So you may want to race, you may want to feel like, let's just get this done in the next month. You know, I wish it could happen that way, but it's not going to happen that way. So take your time as you go through this program, but at the end of the day, the time it takes will, when you get to the other side, it will feel short in comparison to the rewards that you'll get.
An important thing to remind yourself of is to be able to focus on what you can control, which is primarily everything that you do. I know that we often will focus on what our spouse needs to do or what they haven't done, but really the best way to heal is when you just control what you control, which is yourself. Focus on your responsibilities in the recovery and don't pay attention to what your spouse is doing.
Another important factor when it comes to healing from affairs is understanding the metaphor of the window and the walls, which was something first written about by Shirley Glass in her book, Not Just Friends. You see, in an affair, the unfaithful spouse usually shares things about the marriage with their affair partner. So in that essence, the affair partner gets a window into the marriage that they shouldn't have, they don't deserve. Meanwhile, the spouse is given a wall into the affair. They're being lied to, and that they don't even know that the affair is going on. If healing is going to take place in a marriage, the window and the walls need to be reversed. You need to give a wall to the affair partner, which means no contact with them, and they should not be fed any information. It's none of their business whether you're working on your marriage, whether they're not, whether you're not, whether it's going well with you, whether it's not going well with you. And you know, the no contact goes both ways. You shouldn't be voyeuristically looking into their lives and seeing what's going on with them either. So a wall with the affair partner, but meanwhile, the betrayed spouse needs to have a window into the affair. Oftentimes we find that the unfaithful spouse, they were there. They know what the meanings of the affair are for them. They know that they're not going to do it again. They've maybe settled that in their heart. But at this point, the betrayed spouse can't know that. They can't trust you because of this level of betrayal. And so they need to, for themselves, have a window into that affair and what happened so they can, for themselves, deduce what are the meanings of that affair for the marriage, for the future.
Well, this program was designed to help you heal from one or the other's betrayal. And so in that, there's going to be likely plenty of discussions about your marriage and all those things that have happened there. So, you know, as we will often say, separate marriage issues from affair issues, we also want to say that there's going to be times, because this work will be hard, that you want to be able to just have maybe an affair-free zone, so where you can just enjoy each other as best you can in spite of the circumstances. You know, have at least one day a week where you just put everything on pause for a while so that you can actually enjoy each other at some level, or where, you know, there's the tension is minimized because we haven't had to, you know, chit chat about this or have these big long discussions. So just try to, you know, give yourself some space to be able to just relax at least for one day, and that will greatly enhance the effectiveness of this program.
And finally, we want you to know that the affair recovery journey, unfortunately, is a bit of a roller coaster. Unfortunately, you don't go from devastated to healed and happy in a straight line. Generally speaking, it looks more like 4 steps forward, 2 steps back, all the way. So be prepared for that part of the journey. We just want you to have realistic expectations and to understand that setbacks will happen. The main thing is to keep moving forward, to keep resolving the issues, to keep coming back to the tools, and you will get to the other side, and the rewards are so worth it. You know, at this point, while Brian and I are taping this for you, we have had 19 years of monogamy post-affair. That can be your story too. And so it's so worth it. I feel like Brian and I, we get the best of both worlds. Let me explain what I mean. We get to have the shared history together. When we have our grandkids over, they're our grandkids. When we talk about something with our children, they're our children. And all that we've accumulated, the history that we've had, we keep that. But we also have those mountaintop experiences in our marriages, just amazing times that we've had together, lots of joy that when I was back in my recovery journey where you're at right now, if somebody would have said this to me, I probably would have had a hard time believing that it could be true. But I want you to know that if both of you are willing to use the tools that we're going to give you through this program and go through it step by step, take your time, that you can have a strong marriage on the other side. You can completely heal. And what does completely healed look like anyways? You know what? Some people say forgive and forget. That's not going to happen. I remember Brian's affair. But when I remember Brian's affair, yeah, that's part of our history and I wish it wasn't. But when I remember, I don't have the pain anymore associated with that memory. And it seems so long ago, it's really not part of our lives anymore. But we get to have the joy of being together, having each other. I respect Brian completely. He's won that respect back from me, and I trust him 100%. If you're both willing to do the work, you can have that too.
Well, you're right, Anne. We do have a fantastic marriage today. And what could have defined me by my actions all those years ago is just part of my history. I'm defined primarily because of the work that we've had to do together, so that I've had to earn back all your trust and love and admiration. And that's who I am today. And if that's what you want in your life, let's get started. And how we're going to do that is that you're going to first complete that online personality assessment. There's a little report that connects with that you can print. Bring that along with your workbook, and then we're going to actually get started in session number 2.
If you're going through this, find the right help. Find the right help as fast as you can, because the sooner you get the right help, the sooner you'll feel better and heal. And you can trust Anne and Brian. Like, you have to go to someone who's been through this, because it's so hard for people to understand. Like, people don't even understand, like, there's a physical pain with betrayal. It's not like when someone passes away that you're close to. It's not even the same level of pain. It's so different. And if you want to feel better, if you want to get answers, whether you're staying together or not, these are the people to help you. They saved our marriage. They saved my life. Like, I owe them everything. They are amazing people that you can trust. Like, they're amazing.
For me too, like, I would say, like, Anne and Brian went through 2 years of figuring all this stuff out. And they're the pioneers of how to successfulully repair and heal from an affair. And their tools can save people so much time. Like, even for us, like, if we would have known about them even months earlier, it would have helped so many, take away months of pain, right?
There's a lot of hope in a really dark situation. And that when people can kind of transcend what's happening and to get down to what's really going on, there's a lot of miracles that really do take place. And I think we've discovered those and reaped benefits that we weren't even aware of previously.
And I would say that, many of us guys, or typically, not to be too stereotypical, but we like our tools, and like a lot of tools, the right tool, right job, you get the job done. It's so much easier, you know, as you probably learned if you tinkered on motors as a kid or teenager or whatever, and you didn't have the right socket, or you know, you're trying to make an American Fitometric or whatever, and all of a sudden you get the right tool, and or a sharp chainsaw versus a dull chainsaw, or whatever it is, right? The tools that you get from Anne and Brian and all the other resources they provide to you, if you really use them, that toolkit is a kit for success, and a success in marriage that I only wish I'd had sooner.
Having Anne and Brian gave us more tools to communicate and to understand a little bit more of what was even going through my head at times. Having the descriptions and the visualizations of how this all happens, having the vulnerabilities of different things, the external factors that can happen, and making us all more susceptible. We're big assets that there's a lot going on in our world that we can't control. And so being able to have a lot of that information and that knowledge was vital for us.
It wasn't really until after HFA that I left there finally going, okay, I get how it happens. And you go into this conference room and it's not like it's filled with a bunch of convicts. You know, they're good people, they're fun people, and they're great people. They just screwed up. And to see that my husband isn't this monster with 5 heads, but he's actually a really good guy, he screwed up. And this is how it happened, and this is why it happened, and this is how we can make sure that it never happens again and even be stronger.
Knowing where we were and feeling so hopeless at that time and so broken, more broken than I'd ever been in my life, and now knowing where we are and how much better our life and our marriage is than it ever was before, that it's neat to see that transformation. Like absolutely any marriage can, or any person, I mean, everyone has their own choices, but any person, no matter what the outcome of your marriage, can come to the other side of this all stronger and better off than they ever were before, if you choose that journey. So
that devastation that you're feeling right now is something that that it's a moment in time, but looking to the future and looking what you want to be, you have that choice. You have that choice to make, and every decision you make is a choice. And when you make enough right decisions and enough decisions that align with your values, then you're going to get to where you want to be, wherever that is. And so from feeling like nobody's ever had it worse than me to a place where I can say nobody has ever had it better than me is something that it's a great feeling. I can't describe how that just the juxtaposition of the whole thing is.